I was told I only get 3 minutes, but nobody took less than 3 minutes. But I won't be long, I hope. My daughters are very nervous about this. And we'll start with the family. I've got 2 Brown graduates, Diane and Stacy. And then I've got a St. Lawrence graduate, Susie. And Susie and Stacy are twins in your write-up, which is great because the 2 older daughters always told the young one she was adopted. Because there was a 10-year gap. So now she's a twin, which is terrific. In 1948, I was sitting in the end zone down at Princeton crying in my Boy Scout uniform. Absolutely, incredibly upset. This school called Brown, trailing 21-0 at halftime, had come down in the second half and just rolled over Princeton when Princeton was really good. And they won with a field goal by a guy who never kicked a field goal in his life. And I lived in New Jersey all my life, and Princeton was the only place in the world at the time. And Joe Tokanen from our historian, I didn't know his name, but that was my first recognition of Brown. You got to fast forward a few years. I played in high school. I played for some really terrific coaches. We were playing in grammar school with uniforms, full equipment, very unusual. Northern New Jersey was a powerhouse in soccer. One of the earlier World Cup teams about 15 years ago had 4 members from Northern New Jersey on that team. And so I got around applying to college, and one of my requirements was Navy ROTC, because I was looking for some kind of scholarship. Brown had NROTC, and that was one of the schools I applied to. And there were 3 alumni in Wardell who I just respected incredibly. One had started the Little League program in the town. One was a lawyer who taught dancing at the local YMCA. And another one was just a solid local businessman, and I used to babysit for his kids. And when I said when I grow up, I want to be like these guys. And so I applied to Brown. There was no recruiting. There was no such thing. Everybody at that time who went to Brown, this is in the fall of '53, were walk-ons except for football and maybe basketball. Our coach was a part-time coach. He worked in buildings and grounds. Joe Kenway. He's been the United Kingdom goalie 4 out of the 9 years he played. And so, but he knew how to coach and he knew the game. And so we had a real good group come on behind us and did real well. The luckiest thing that ever happened in my life was going to Brown. The second luckiest thing, but maybe it was the most luckiest, was meeting the cute blonde sitting over there, who was in my class, Marilyn Brown. Come on, Marilyn, stand up. Academics. I mean, that was one of the reasons I was interested. My parents had been very fortunate. My mother going to Hunter College in New York City. She was an immigrant from England. My father was from a one-room schoolhouse in Michigan who graduated from the Los Angeles Normal School. And he was a physics major there. There were 127 in his class. It was UCLA. All they said was, Bruce, I want you to go away to school, because they had been commuters. So Brown was the obvious place. I'd never been there. We stopped up here on the way to vacation in Maine where we camped. My mother saw Maxie Hall. She broke into tears. I said, Mom, it's great. There's 2 beds. I'm going to have a roommate. There are 2 dressers. And there's a bathroom down the hall. What else could you ask for? So I had an interesting academic career. I came as an SCB in chemistry. That lasted 1 semester because I couldn't play soccer and go to labs. So I switched to history. I loved history. I had Professor Morgan in my freshman year. He normally taught just majors. He left after that year to become the chairman of the history department at Yale. Then I went into economics because that was good business. And I thought they were all way over here and didn't get along with them. And I wound up in classics because I passed my Latin proficiency as a freshman. Recruiting, graduated, and a new coach came, Cliff Stevenson. And I called him and said, Cliff, I'd like to help you. He said, you can help me, I need help. I don't have any players. He was in the line of freshmen. He asked me if they'd ever played soccer, please come out. So I said, okay, I'll help. We got some good players down here. I gave him a couple of names. One of them was Bill Hooks. Now, I'd never met Cliff at this point. And I said, you got to talk to Bill Hooks. He's at Ordinal, he's at Riverdale High School. He's a great player. His dad been with Citibank down in Argentina. He come back, he's terrific. So Cliff's on the case. And he calls me, Maryland can call you at 10 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And he says, okay, I got a meeting with him, and he's really interested. Will you go over and see him? So I went over to see him. I talked to his father. I talked to Bill. Bill was interested. His dad wanted him to go to West Point. So fast forward, it is now March of his senior year, and it's getting down to the end. So Cliff called me and said, you got to go again. I said, all right. And Cliff says, I'm coming down. He's really good. I said, thank you. And there'll be another alumnus there, Doug Whitnall. I said, oh, really? He said, yes. Why is he coming? Well, he's going to present him with his invitation to go to West Point. This is, the three of us are going to go into the house, all right, and sell Brown. At the same time, Congressman Whitnall, who's a Brown graduate, is going to tell him that he's got his free ride at West Point. Well, Mr. Hooks never forgave us. Bill came to Brown, was a great player, first team All-Ivy his sophomore year, and that's how things went from there. It just program built, and it's been a great program. The interesting thing, and the thing I always loved with Brown, I love Brown, but the thing I have never seen any Brown team quit. Any sport, they can be behind. I have never seen a Brown team quit, and it's in any game you go watch. It is a great thing. It is a great thing to see, and I now would like to thank the committee for electing me, and I'm glad I'm before the next group that's coming up.